question for you. How many of you have actually browsed your dollar stores for makeup? Because I think sometimes people think, ooh, I don't want to use what's there. It's scary. It's too cheap. But really, in a lot of dollar stores, you're going to find some mainstream brands that you see all the time, like CoverGirl, Wet n Wild, L'Oreal, stuff like that. But you're also maybe prone to coming up with some hidden gems, some potentially really good stuff. I was at a store called Fred's Super Dollar, and not too long ago I ran across a brand called Ioni, and I know I talked about a blush from there in my Dirt Cheap Products Worth Trying. At that point, that was the only thing I'd used. Since that time, I've gone back, I'm trying some more things, and some things I'm really impressed with. So I really wanted to do this video just to tell you about it, because the line is fairly new. I think it's maybe a year old, and it's produced by the same company that makes LA Splash, which you might see in Ulta stores. So in this video, lots of little reviews. It's going to cut to some demos as well, so you can see some of these products in action and swatches and the whole bit. Also, I can't find my receipt for what I paid exactly for all this stuff, but I know there was nothing more than $2.50, and I think some of this stuff was just $1. I'm going to start off with this bronzer duo, and it's in the shade You're Glowing, and I think they may have had one other lighter option for bronzer, but this is what this looks like, and you can see they both have a little sheen, both the deeper side and the lighter side, and the lighter side could basically be like a peachy highlight for you. The deeper side is still, I think, kind of on the light end where bronzers are concerned. I used it a little bit as a cheek contour, but again, it's got that little bit of shimmer, not maybe ideal as a contouring product. Overall, I don't see this as a big must-have, really. I mean, I got it because I tried the blushes and I thought, ooh, maybe the bronzer's fantastic as well, but not really. Now for the blushes, the first one I mentioned, first one I ever tried, is called Ecstasy, and this is a matte, super pigmented, kind of reddish coral blush. It's gorgeous. It's still probably my favorite one from the line, but what I'm really happy to report is that I tried 3 other blushes, the only other 3 I could find in stock, and I like all of them as well. So this one's Ecstasy, this is your coral. There's another matte one, and this is the one I'm wearing today, and this is in Miss Bliss, and I think of this as kind of a pinky mauve shade. It's a little bit deeper, very pigmented, gorgeous. So I love that there are 2, entirely matte blushes. You don't see that a lot. Now these other 2 are shimmery, and this one is Goddess, kind of a little bit deeper, bronzy, coppery type shade, and then this one is Orgasmic. I wonder if this is supposed to be some sort of dupe for NARS Orgasm blush. I'm not sure. I don't have that one, but this is a beautiful color nonetheless. It has a little bit of golden shimmer. So as you look at swatches of all of these, you can see, they're super pigmented. When they're blended out on the cheeks, they blend out easily. And I do know that these were $2.50 a piece. I think they're a fantastic bargain for what you're getting. Definitely, for me, the highlight of this line are these wonderful blushes. Now for eyes, I'm always kind of excited when I see that a brand has an eye primer, and this says 8-hour wear eyeshadow primer. And this is kind of refreshing because the claim on this, 8 hours, I've worn this longer than 8 hours and still had just wonderful staying power with my eyeshadows, so that's interesting. It's different from anything I've tried in that the texture of this is almost like clear. It's practically completely transparent, not a creamy shade, and it gets tacky very quickly. So you kind of have to spread it around sort of fast because it's going to get very tacky and remain a little bit tacky, but then when you put your eyeshadows on top, it really clings. The amount of tackiness that this had me a little concerned that I might have some creasing, like, what's this going to do throughout the course of a day, but I had no problems. I'm going to have to confine this hair today. It needs to stay back there behind the ear. For some of the eyeshadows, okay, I've got 2 duos and 2 singles, and the duos I have are in Sand Dune and Truffle. I'm going to focus on this one first. This is the one I'm wearing today, and I kind of found it odd that they put together sort of a grayish color and a brown, but really this is more like almost a little bit of a khaki color. It's got a little hint of green in it, and I'm not sure if that really comes off, but I'm wearing this all over the lid, and then I blended this shade into my crease, and I also used a little bit of the brown just smudged underneath the eye as well. And these aren't like amazing eyeshadows. They don't have the really impressive pigmentation of like Wet n Wild shadows, but they still perform well. They're still decently pigmented, and they really, I thought, popped on top of this primer. I also did use in this look a little bit of this light shade in the duo called Truffle, and I used that as my highlight, a little bit on the inner corner. And this is kind of a golden shade. It looks just creamy, but it is a bit golden. It almost reminds me a little bit of Max Nylon in that way. And then you get a brown that is a little bit cooler in this one than that brown. That's a little bit more warm. Overall, I mean, you can put together a look and I don't think anybody would like look at you and think, oh, nice dollar store makeup. I would say these are maybe comparable quality to like the Maybelline Expert Wear eyeshadows. The eyeshadows that have been around a while in Maybelline's line. They seem to have that kind of a texture, but really not bad and maybe worth a shot if you're looking for some new shadows. And then the others, the singles that I tried, this shade is called Rodeo, this pretty brown, and this really reminds me a lot of the brown that is in the Truffle duo. The texture of this feels just a little softer, but as a whole it performs basically the same as this brown and looks the same when I swatched them side by side. But if you just want this kind of a shade, this little single, this is pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. And the one in Posh, this is purple. This is a very soft, kind of dusty purple shade. It's a subtle purple. I was wearing a look over the weekend where I used this duo. I put in a little bit of this shade and I like smudged this purple on the lower lash line. Very subtle, so don't go for this if you want a big purple color payoff. Eyeliner, this is Precision Automatic Eye Pencil. I think they had another kind of eyeliner too, but I'm kind of drawn to the kind that you don't have to sharpen. It looks packaging wise exactly like, you know, Maybelline Master Drama, and I was really hoping to have a great surprise in that this was really long wearing or really smudge free, and sadly it's just not a smudge free liner. Like, it does not have that quality where you put it on and it sets. It will fade a little bit, but if you're not like out being super duper active, it's probably not going to fade much. And I didn't have smearing issues, but I just noticed the intensity of the black wasn't there at the end of the day when I wore this. This glides on so smoothly. I love that aspect. Very easy to put on. So today I just took that all the way across my upper lash line and it was really easy. For mascara, this was one of those things where I'm like, what the heck, I'll try it, probably gonna hate it, you know, but I'm gonna give it a go. And I got the Lash Affair Lengthening Mascara, and they had a few different kinds of mascaras, but I thought, oh, I'm just gonna go for this one. And first thing I noticed with this, when you pull it out of the tube, for some reason, this part of the brush closest to the wand needs a little extra cleaning off, for sure, because there's a lot of product there. But as far as the actual look of the brush and the shape, I do really like it. You can kind of see that it's flatter when you hold it this way, and then it's got two sides with longer bristles. I like that kind of a brush because I feel like when I want to load on more product, I'll put the flat side up against my lashes, and when I want to comb through for a little more length and definition, I'll use the side with more long bristles. So I like this. I didn't feel like it made my lashes hard and crunchy, or, you know, that feeling like, oh, they're so brittle and they look dry and nasty. It really looked nice throughout the day. It built nicely on top of itself. I mean, for a mascara to work decent on my lashes, I think it's saying something. So I was really pleasantly surprised with this mascara. And I also wanted to show you in this video how the eyelashes went on. I'm wearing the style Flirt. These, I would say, are one of the more natural options from the line, but as you can see, still a lot of length and thickness. Not my ideal lash. I mean, when I think of Ardell lashes, they've got a really nice natural curve to them. Same with the red cherry ones I've talked about so much. They've got kind of a thin band and it's very easy to maneuver. The band on these really wants to be very straight, it seems. So you've got to work with it a little bit, get it a little bit flexible. The lashes themselves are not very curled either. That's another thing I noticed. I think if you looked at me from the side, you would even see more lash than you do head on, just because they're not really curving up big time. The other style I have is probably twice as long as what I'm wearing now, and these are called Glamour. So there you see full-on thickness, a lot of length. The look is nice, but just not maybe the easiest lashes to maneuver and get right there on your lash line. But I'd give those kind of an average rating, I guess. I got 3 glosses from this line. This one's called Cappuccino. This is a great nude. It looks beautiful. It's actually kind of comfortable on the lips, not super sticky, but there is enough stickiness. It's not one of those that seems really watery or oily, greasy, like it's gonna just slide right off your lips. So I like the texture, I like the color. This is just creamy, there's no shimmer to it. It's beautiful for a nice nude lip. The one I'm wearing today is called Razzle, and this I would call kind of a peach, and this does have just a little bit of shimmer. It's kind of sheer. I had to build it up just a little bit to get the look I have right now. And then one that's very full on color and no shimmer with this one either. This is called Sassy, and it is just a creamy hot pink magenta type color. So I've said lots of good things about these glosses, but guess what happened to me the other day? I'm undoing this, and the stopper that should keep all that goop, so you see how goopy that wand is now? The stopper that kind of cleans off the wand is stuck up in the cap, and even if I really like press down as I open it, it stays in there, and that is a huge like deal breaker for me. Like, I was so wanting to love these, and then just today after I put my first coat on my lips, the coral one did it too. I'm not saying that's going to happen to everyone, but 2 out of 3 glosses I got have now failed in that way. That's it. That's everything I've tried from the Ioni line. The blushes are my absolute favorite thing from the line. I don't think the shadows are too bad. I mean, if you're looking at some specific colors, you think, yeah, I want to try something new, give them a go. They're not the most fantastic shadows, but they do perform really nicely on top of a base. Speaking of base, this primer worked pretty well. It's strange because there is no tacky feeling to it anymore once you get the shadow on, but it does have a real tackiness when you first apply it. So I hope that gives you a few details on this Ioni line. Good luck finding it. Like I said, Fred's Super Dollar is where I'm finding mine. I'm not sure where else it's going to be coming out, but it's fairly new. So thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.